Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, whoever you are and wherever you are. Today is the 6th, if I'm not mistaken, yep, it's 4th of September 2025. And yesterday I posted a short clip of, oops, sorry, I posted a short clip on my page, on YouTube page, on the banknotes that you see today. Here is what I've received yesterday. Well, today evening, since tomorrow is a public holiday, then I have a pleasure of time for this evening to elaborate and do some hobby collection, uh, as a relaxation, I would say. Yeah, going through my banknotes is very relaxing, so this is something I would like to do a day before, on a public holiday or a holiday period or weekend. So it's considered as a long weekend of a 3-day weekend. Anyway, yep, as what I've posted, I have got 3 Italian banknotes and 1 from People's Republic of China. So modestly, I bought them in a very good price. So yeah, I got it from the auction. I was anticipating for it to come in a little bit delayed, because it was a summer period, so it was about 2-3 weeks. But the problem was I got worried during the transportation. The tracking was not readable, so you don't get a constant like every day when to track. I got this yesterday from the mail. Surprisingly, I got it, and a day before it arrived, the online parcel tracking still haven't updated. It's still considered in Europe, so I didn't know it was already in transit, gone through the customs, blah blah blah, and it is. Yesterday it just arrived, and then when I opened the online tracking device on the web page using the reference number that's given, it just say automatically it goes poop. Every information just suddenly popped out all of a sudden and until the point of delivery. So I think the tracking device has some problem at the moment. But anyway, it's just a one-time fluke, and I hope it's just a one-time fluke, because it got me very very worried whether my parcel has disappeared or not, because you pay something for it, you bought something for it, you anticipate it arrive, it didn't arrive, money burns. That's how I felt. Money burns. It's fly to the heavens, I would say. Yeah, but safely it arrived, safe and sound, undamaged. That is very good. Although I did comment last time that they should put a hard copy cardboard inside to prevent the mailers or the processing damaging it. Thank God it did not damage it, but it can be potentially be damaged by some heavy object when they throw it, and then suddenly a box just hit in the middle of the boat and it will get bent. Then all this notes will be damaged. From one circulator, it become extremely fine. Poof, just by that mistake. So, for professional wise, any auction house, I would say, I'm not criticizing just one, but throughout the entire auction house, when you do on mailing parcels, make sure the condition of the note is intact. Okay, because any kind of damages actually decrease its value, depreciate, and it lower the grade from the auction that we are supposed to buy, because condition, that is the priority, and that sets the value of the note between uncirculated, about uncirculated, and extremely fine, or even going down to a very fine, good, very good, and then rag or fair. Different grades has different level, and mistakes done unintentionally by the shipping company and lower down the grade, it devalues it. So you bought something that is arrive in your hand not exactly what the product you have bid. That is why I prefer, normally I would really prefer is hand delivered. I get it from you by hand and I pay it by hand. That is what I like to do in my local auction house in my country, where I can reach to them. I just had a drink. Sorry. So let's go through the notes. But before that, sidetrack a little bit. Wow. The world is just still spinning around pretty normal, I would say, in today, 4th of September. We just celebrated independence in Malaysia. Indonesia in a full-blown riot in Java Island. Ministers, MPs, politicians inflated their allowances in a condition where the economy is really bad in Indonesia. Not just say Indonesia, but across the world, thanks to America aspiring to threaten the global trade with tariffs and so forth. We anticipate all these matters, so a very good governing country would have a safety net. And I kind of say that my country had a safety net, and having known today, this week, how much the salary, how much the allowance that my politicians received, it's actually compared to Indonesia, where they are having full-blown riot, is twice more than they have. And to them, comparing the inflated allowances and the minimum wage is 10 times more. That means comparing Indonesia's minimum wage and our MPs in Malaysia is getting is probably 20 times inflated. And in Malaysia, we have one very good culture. We call it tak apa. Never mind. Let it pass. Let it go. We have been using that ever since the day that is independence. I think our country is going hunky-dory, but not as good as Singapore or any other developed countries like South Korea, Hong Kong, or Japan. But we are still living in a comfort zone situation. When we have any crises, is not as terrible as many countries affected, like Indonesia, or any poorly developed countries like Laos, Cambodia, I would say Burma. When they have crisis there, people suffer, economically suffer. In my country, like in Malaysia, myself, I feel truly blessed. When we have crisis, the economy does not affect because we separate them quite well, and we have a lot of contingency. We have so much of contingencies, it would not directly affect the people. The only time that affected our community directly to the people quite much is because of COVID, and even the tariffs that America recently this year imposed did not have a full-blown effect on the domestic economy in my country. So pretty much is hunky-dory. I would say hunky-dory. I won't say there's no effect. There is, but it's not so severe. That is the key word. Not so severe compared to other countries. Thanks to proper management by the current government. I would also give some credit for the previous governments in the past. I won't say anything about the 33 months of the government that is governing, because they were governing under the period where it's a very big crisis, which is COVID. So they didn't have any comfort zone or averted crisis for them to set agenda, I would say. So let's just say that I wanted to be fair to everyone in their point of view, but everyone has a right to their point of view, and their choice of their beliefs and so forth. So yeah, another big news. President of the United States Donald Trump would be coming to Malaysia around October. That will be a very, very exciting moment. It's, of course, in the Southeast Asia community, it's been a very big debate, especially in Malaysian citizens. Being a Muslim majority country with a crisis in Gaza and Israel, Israel's big supporter is the United States of America. Yeah, so they're controversial. It's not say controversial. It's a hotly debated issue that should we have hospitality or even invite or even allow the president of the United States come to Malaysia for the ASEAN conference with the major world leaders, since Malaysia this year is the host of the position of the ASEAN top post. I think it's a president or the chairmanship, something like that. It's basically we are holding the leadership. That's any host to be responsible for hosting a country. The next one will be probably in Singapore, will be taking over. So it's like going through cycle of each member of the ASEAN country will host becoming a leader of the so-called these small ASEAN communities. So yeah, this is our turn. This is Malaysia's hosting position. So everything conference is hosted in Malaysia, and yeah, pretty excited having Donald Trump coming to a Muslim majority country. If it does, it will be a news. Okay, other than Saudi Arabia, okay, so other than Saudi Arabia, Malaysia is a little bit more modernity, a country, I would say multiracial. We are not multicultural, but multiracial country and multi-religious countries, respecting each individual right. Of course, the majority in Malaysia are Muslims. So for a president of the United States like Donald Trump, coming to Malaysia is a very bold statement. But in pursuit of diplomatic peace and prosperity, I think it's wise that he come in sincerity and in good faith, even though right now is not in a very bad condition because of Gaza and Israel. And of course, domestically, in his house. As you watch CNN talking about American politics, Republican Party, his own party is in trouble, sinking really, really fast. Many supporters previously voted for Donald Trump as president is starting to let go and probably rekindle back to the Democrats or other third party or third force party in the United States. So yeah, he has his own problem in domestic and also in international, but in somewhat way, at least coming to Asia, meaning to Malaysia, is one of those bold steps to maintain its international diplomacy, especially having Southeast Asia, one of the important parts of Asia's strategic position, if talking like American, against China. China is the Asia's center core of the so-called rival or the enemy of the state. You need to get a lot of friends from the other than China. Japan is already there. South Korea is already there. What about Southeast Asia? What about India? These are the countries now America is trying to pursue to have alliance with to contain China. But I don't think it's a good way. But anyway, diplomacy and all this, who do I know? I'm just a normal citizen with his own critique in any cafeteria shops or in cafes. Regular citizens talk about politics is kind of redundant, or so say people. Okay, that is all for that sidetrack view. So let's get back to the banknote. Now, probably this going through this quite fast. Not much I can talk about. They're quite repetitive. Yeah. 3 Italian notes, as I say, and 1 from the Chinese one. So I'll go through this one I've got. Uh, this is the first series from the People's Bank of China, or the People's Republic of China. One of the very first note they issue for 100 yuan. Now this is printed in 1949. Of course, technically it was doing it in 1948 and they issued out in 1949. This one, as you can see, this version is much more circulated in the proper Han regions, or a very core state that is under the Kuomintang, previously under Kuomintang, because the way they're written here, oh, I cannot focus. There you go. Focus. Okay. So if you can see, the written here is still uses the Republic of China's calendar system, or the year reading. So it's read here, Chinese Republic 38 year. So they still use the Republic of China's calendar. Of course, later on, subsequently, they will change it to normal years. They will no longer cease to exist to use this. Except in Taiwan, they still use this calendar system. So yeah, sometimes you may see some in Taiwan, they will use this year of the Republic. What year it is now? Probably I think it's 80. I think right now probably is more than a 110. 11, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12, 13, 14, 114 years. Year of the Republic, 114 years, because the first year of the Republic is 1911. That's the first year of the Republic. So you calculate now, is 2011 is 100 years. Plus until 25, yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, yeah. So it's 114 year. In Taiwan, you can still read this in their calendar as the year of the Republic, 114 years. Yeah. So this one is one of the version of 100 yuan. They have another few versions. I think they have 4 types of 100 yuan in 4 variation design. Now, why they have 4 versions? Region printing. Some of the printing in the region have specific identity of the area that which they are accustomed to. So at that time, the communist banks, they want to centralize it, but they tend to have a transition period so that it gets people comfortable in the transition to more centralized system. So they don't want to have immediate change where people get confused and so forth. So they try to adjust it. So this is one. There's another one is in the brown color one, which is a rare type, which is more expensive. But of course I've seen it, but it's really expensive. But so it wasn't on sales. This one was in auction in the last auction last month during summer break. Managed to fetch this one. It looks pretty nice from the video, but actually it has been multiple folds. I've gone through a multiple fold lines here, so I won't say it looks like extremely fine condition, but actually it's not. To me, I think it would be a very fine choice. 30 to 35 grade, if you are mentioning around there. There's no huge center fold that damages the integral print, so it's still very good as an overall. But there you can see there are multiple folds here and a small fold here, like a we call it foxing. Yeah, we call it foxing. There are a number of foxings that somebody try to flatten it. I can see how they've done it. So that is a natural way. You can see the fold lines here. I don't know if you can see there. Can you see that? Yeah, they try to flatten it so it looks really nice from far, like it is like extremely fine or AUC, about uncirculated, but it's not. After looking at detail under the light carefully, shadows, all the wrinkles there, I would say very fine choice, 30 to 35. So yeah, there are few number of 100 yuan under in this. This is considered as the first series, and they have multiple versions. And in current China, a lot of collectors, new notabilia, numismatic collectors, the first series are very expensive and very how would I say an eye opening that people are looking for it to buy and sell. And again, if I have two of these, I would really sell the least lowest grade one and sell it. And I've encountered many Chinese collectors are desperately looking for the first series and trying to sell you in a very low ball. I tendency try to avoid that, and I always demand the right price. Now I can go below the market price about 20%, because I did pay around that position around 70%, so I need some extra money effort that I have paid in about 10%. So that's most of the time my rule of the thumb for me to resell it. It has to be fair. I don't like people lowball me. It makes me look like a sucker. So yeah, this is a note. I only have one, so it's going to be a keeper. Should I grade it? Is another question. Should I grade it or not? Knowing the condition like this and knowing the price of it, it's not really valuable compared to other 100 yuan different type of notes. So I'm at this moment of time, I'm not going to grade it yet. Especially with current situation, grading under PMG, I had to send to America due to the tariffs, blah blah blah, and some of the, because it's Chinese product, they look at it, they know it's a Chinese product. So anything that's related to China, tendency you have to, I worry is to pay tariffs and so forth. So at the moment, to grade it under PMG or PCGS, maybe PCGS is in difficulty unless the PCGS send this to Hong Kong or Singapore for grading. Now PMG has an office in Hong Kong, but they haven't operated anything that is related to Chinese product to be graded in Hong Kong due to the tariffs. They haven't done anything to take action on that. So a lot of the notes in Southeast Asia do not get processed in Hong Kong. Probably Singaporean supply of the notes to be graded is processed in Hong Kong, I believe. But for Malaysia, all the notes does go to United States for grading. Even if they fly to Hong Kong, it has to be flown to United States PMG's headquarters to be graded. If they can modify the way they are doing any products, because to avoid tariffs or any form of tariffs, I think PMG should and PCGS should do a grading outside of their country. I know PMG does that for Hong Kong, grading in Hong Kong. They do that. For China, sending it to Hong Kong, they do that. But for Malaysians, when they send out for PMG grade, they still go to United States. My concern is it might affect the tariffs you might eventually have to pay. Recently, 2-3 weeks ago, Japan Post suddenly stopped any kind of parcels sending it to America is halt, and they no longer does that services to send any items to the United States of America due to tariffs. And we do not know how the extent of it. I don't know. I haven't read any news further than that. But yeah, that is one of the things that might get affected, I would say, due to because of the tariffs. Okay. And we get one thing off. The next note that I want to look into is Italian. So let's start with this one. Now, I am not really expert in Italian notes, but any of you who are notophilia and numismatic collectors out there who are expert Italian, yeah, Italian. This note, 2000, 2000. Bank of Italy. I haven't studied who's this remarkable man. G. Marconi. Probably very, very important for it to be in the banknote. It must be very important. But looking at it, his contribution probably is science and telecommunication. It looks like telecommunication. Now, what's so unique about this note? If you look at other notes, the note of the 2000, comparing this note, the serial number of this note is in blue. Now, this is why I wanted to ask those who are out there who knows or who are good in expert or professional in collecting Italian banknotes to tell me, is this note really much difficult to find? This one is actually blue. They tell me this is the blue serial number, and I compared to most of the eBays that's selling this type of notes. Most of it is actually in brown color. This is mostly all in blue. Yeah, and mostly in blue. But the other one I saw in the regular notes, they are all in black or dark brown color, and the serial number is normally I see is like dark brown or black color. This is literally blue color, and the background all in blue. You see, all in blue. Now there are possibility this could be an error note, or it's a unique note that is like a special note missing additional color etching onto it. That's why it's blue, or it has been exposed to UV light. Like most of the US banknotes, the dark green turns to a cyan color, like this kind of blue, but a bit more cyan color. When they exposed to UV light, enough UV light, actually the US dollar will turn color. The dark green will turn to like a cyan color, so like a bluish color. So this is maybe is exposed to the sun, that's why it become like this. But most of the time when it's exposed to the sun, the white color notes will become much more yellowish due to the exposure of the UV light. So that could be not, I'm not too sure. But yeah, comparing this note and is considered to me, looking at it, is the condition when it's uncirculated, and comparing another hand, apple to apple, of course, on eBay, another note of uncirculated 2000 lira. The color is all dark color. They are brown, and the serial number is in dark brown or black color. The back is more brownish, especially all these patterns will be much more dark color, brown colorish. So yeah, is it really a unique note? Is it rare? Of course, the serial number is pretty normal, so I won't say anything about that. It's not replacement note. So those of you guys out there, girls, guys, anybody can tell me. This is something I do not know. So if you know something about this note, this of the color, hit me a comment. I would like to know and more about it. So yeah, this is something a bit mystery, but I saw in the auction they were saying this is uniquely rare blue color. So I got it for a really good price. I could say for 2000 lira is a bit hefty for its price, but yeah, there was some competition bidders on the bidding this, but probably I overbid it because I do not know this note, but I want it. Not I need it, but I want it. So anybody knows about this note? Tell me about it. The next note would be showing is a 100,000 centomila lire. So at least I know some of the Italian words. Cento means 100, mille means 1,000, so 100,000. They call it 100,000 rather than 100,000. What is so unique about this note is a replacement note, XC. So signed by, if I'm not mistaken, Emachi and Fazio. So this is one of the common banknotes, much more later stage of the banknotes. So based on the PIC catalog, standard catalog book, this is one of the cheapest ones. So if you ask me, getting a price that I'm paying for in a bit for a replacement note is really sound price, probably because it is very common compared to the previous one that is Fazio and another signature of another person. Not this one, is rarer. Italian banknotes, I would say the back is really simple, but the iconic is always the person in the head. This is a famous sculptor and artist during the Renaissance period, Caravaggio. Anybody put here means it has painted the St. Peter or has done contribution for the Pope. Most of it, I would just say that way, has interaction with the Pope at that period of time. So this note, I would say, is really beautiful. It is uncirculated in condition, no fold, no crease. Really beautiful, no stain mark. I could say it is uncirculated, but what level of uncirculated, I don't know until you send it for grade. Unless you really know what to see detail, then yeah, I didn't have the time to see this in detail because I just got it yesterday. So yeah, probably tomorrow is a public holiday. I might look into it more detail for myself and see what is the grade could be. But definitely, I would say more than 60. More than 60, that's for sure. So 100,000 lire, really nice color, and it is a uncirculated note. So XC. Now this is a XC. There's a XA, XB. They will start with XA. Probably in a way, if you collect replacement notes, XA is much more rarer. It's like a first prefix for replacement note. So they're much older, much more valuable, as most people would say. But of course, the determination of the price is when the bank at that time releases how much quantity they issue. If XC has a smaller quantity than XA, then XC is more expensive, more valuable, as they will put it. So again, at the moment, I don't have any information on the notes for Italian notes much. So yeah, to me, it's kind of a mystery. And the last note, I got it. Now this is printed during the 1994. This is printed in 1990. This is much older note. This is printed in 1983. 1983. That's literally 40 years, more than 40-year-old note standing in the hand here, and not just any note. Again, is an XA, which means it's a replacement note and it's uncirculated. I can guarantee it's more than 60 at the moment. There's no crease. All corners are really looks pristine, sharp. No foxing, no folds. Colors are no stain. There's no discoloration. Yeah, this, I would say the note is in a very good condition. The white colors really shines out a lot. Most of the notes like this, you turn brownish color when they're wear and tear, exposed to UV lights. It'll turn brown like that. This, like this. When they're exposed and they have used very frequently, the colors will turn brown. Those brownish areas are supposed to be white or even light brown, light brown or cream color, like a like beige color, at least at that time of the technology they printed out. But look at that. This note was printed out meant to be white. Now, if you compare to this note that's wear and tear, you see this is brown. Like those notes at the back here in the background, it will be brown color. It will be brown. This, as you can see right now, is 40 years old, brilliantly white, pristine. I would say the color. This is something worth as a collector to collect of this note. Probably this note is not that valuable because when I bid, it wasn't really expensive. It wasn't like going really high. Maybe because the denomination is very small. It's 2,000 lira, or 2,000. But the thing is advantage is this note is the first prefix for replacement note. It's an XA, so it is a replacement note. For itself, it's already valuable. It's very rare to find compared to the regular notes. Now, I don't have the price. As again, Italian notes, I don't have the price tag. What is the replacement note cost? Is this note has a exquisite value of rarities? If you're collecting Italian notes, you know more than I do. Share the knowledge with me. Sharing is caring. If you want to talk about Malaysian banknotes, if you want to talk about Chinese bank, I'm willing to share some of my knowledge I know, especially Japanese notes. That's my main focal point. But Italian notes is one thing I wanted to collect, is because most of the Italian notes have those important Renaissance people. Who is this person in this note? It's Galileo. I'm a very historical person. And a lot of the period where we know of people like Isaac Newton, Michelangelo, Caravaggio, Galileo. These are the people that I admire because they transform the country's image from a very docile, dominated by the church, governed by the church, becoming an individually liberal, free thinking society under God's will. I have to add that one because they are still Christianity, they still believe in God, but they believe that God gave them the wisdom to find the truth of the natural science. Being scientific is one thing, and these people are the pioneers at that time, battling their ideas of the truth against the church belief and thinking, or dare to say their dogma. That is why I really impress Italian banknotes when they put people onto their banknotes. The people who are very important, wise choice on putting who are the people where the world recognizes. So this is a type of banknotes I really appreciate to collect. That's why I extend myself to collect Italian banknotes. Although I don't have any knowledge of it, but of the technicality of the banknotes of Italian banknotes. But yeah, you collect because you like it, and I liked history. And having a banknote implying that you learn the history, you know these people, and they're on the banknote, and you collect banknote. Why not having it? Why not? So this is the reason why I actually bought and collect Italian banknotes. Having people who are very important in my life when I learned history, knowing they have changed the world, especially the European society, until they got into imperialism, where they colonized the world on Asia and South America and North America at a certain extent of the period of time. Yeah, they brought what Western knowledge is today. During their period, and arts, science and art were much more realization. It flourished, putting them onto the banknote was a right choice when the Italian, because if you ask me, if I'm an Italian and govern the Bank of Italy, and I have to print notes, who should I put on the banknote? To be honest, the Italian bank has spoil of choice. If they want to go really past, they can go to the Roman times. They can put Augustus, which during the early days when fascists ruled during Mussolini, they put a Roman Emperor Augustus onto their banknote. They can put a Roman Emperor. They can put anybody who's significantly important that has contributed to Italy itself. So yeah, they have spoil of choices. They can put Marco Polo. I don't know why they didn't have that, but they who have great communication and went to Asia and so forth. I don't know why Marco Polo didn't came to the banknote, but on this one, 1983, this is Galileo. If I'm not mistaken, the 5,000 lira. 5,000 lira, I believe they have a person is Christopher Columbus. Even Christopher Columbus is not Italian, and yet they put Christopher Columbus onto the banknote. If I'm not mistaken, he's a Portuguese, if I'm not mistaken, who served the Castile, the House of Castile, because they contributed him the funds for him to explore the New World. And yet, they put Christopher Columbus onto their banknote in Italy. Italians. Spoils of choice, but yet they still pick a foreign, non-Italian onto their banknote. That was a really bold move during that period in early 1980s. 5,000 lira, if I'm not mistaken, the denomination, they put the portrait of Christopher Columbus. I don't know why. Maybe if they want to talk about exploration, they can put Marco Polo at that time. He's much more significant. He's Italian. He's Venetian. Italian. And it should be put that one on 5,000 rather than Christopher Columbus. I understand with Spaniard, the Spain or the Portuguese put Christopher Columbus, or even the Caribbean countries in Haiti, they might put Christopher Columbus because Christopher Columbus' direct contribution to us there, not Italian. So I mean, it was very funny at that time when I read through and see those notes at that period. And then, I mean, most of the Italian notes I see, the price was really okay, I would say, really indecent price. But the one that is really fetching one is Leonardo da Vinci. I don't know what's the denomination. I think it was 10,000 liras or 50,000 liras in that period, 1980s or 70s. I can't have a recollection in my mind, but I've heard about it. I've glanced through it. Everybody wants that one. The Leonardo da Vinci. I think it was the largest denomination during the early days before the 1990s or the late 1980s, where they have 100,000 and then 500,000. Then they changed to euro. In those days, I think 20,000 or 50,000 was the largest denomination, and having Leonardo da Vinci on the banknote, I saw it once. It was really pricey. Among all the Italian notes, I see that one is a really pricey one with the image of Leonardo da Vinci. So yeah, can't have it in my mind at the moment. I don't have any guide. I when I did this video without any props already to note storage. I just comes out from my mind, from my brain, any knowledge I can spew out impromptu of the banknotes in what I heard, because it's much more genuine. I prefer that way rather than reading from a script and so forth. Again, I do this video for my collection diaries, and that diary I wanted to share to everyone else, so to inspire you to collect. So yeah, anyway, so that is all for today. Running at 45 minutes, not bad. Yeah, if you like this video, do give me a like. If you have any comments, and please, those who knows Italian banknotes, do leave me comment teach me something, give me some knowledge, so that I can learn something about it. Or you have some question, put in a comment. I'll try to answer it back as soon as possible and as best I could. If you want to catch my future videos or my short reel clips, most of the time I love to do short clips because it's quick and straight to the point of the notes I receive, or coins, or anything I receive. I like to do short clips, less than 1 minute. Just subscribe if you like. And again, disclaimer: I don't do this for viewers or trying to make money out of it. I do this just to share, and mainly using YouTube's space to store my diary and my archive, my items, so that I could one day reach back what is the day of the year I got that note and what was the condition and so forth. So at least it keep track on my collection using YouTube's library space. Of course, in return, share these videos to everyone to inspire new notophilia, numismatic collectors out there. Especially younger generations would be seeing this as an art piece rather than a money. Hopefully it can change people's mind, or if you want, as investment, a way of investment, alternative investment from gold, silver, or anything. Why not invest in banknotes? So yeah, thank you very much for your time, and I would be seeing you now in the future. Just a note, probably when the next note will be, I have ordered, purchase, probably another 2-3 weeks to arrive. But until then, we'll be quiet and quite silent. So thank you very much, and I hope to see you real soon. Thank you and bye.